Hi everyone, it's Justin here, Voices for Voices. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Whether you're watching, whether you're listening, whether you're here in the United States or across the world, thank you for joining us and making our TV show and podcast one of the most popular and hottest across the world. We couldn't do this without you. If you can give us a big thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, reach out to 25 of your contacts in your phone, let them know about the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast and how we are helping people one person at a time, one country at a time, one city at a time. Currently, we have helped and reached over people in over 100 countries and over 1,000 cities. With your help, we can help and reach people across 300 countries and over 3,000 cities on our way to help and reach 3 billion people plus over the course of my lifetime and beyond. We have big goals, but we have a lot of people to help. And thank you so much for being with us today. Over 445 episodes in our catalog. So please, again, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, follow, share, all that great stuff. It's free to do. And if you can reach out to 25 or 50 of your contacts in your phone, let them know about Voices for Voices. We are, again, one of the hottest TV show and podcasts across this beautiful world that we call on the planet Earth. Uh, One of the areas we want to talk about today is uh, a little bit of the difference between psychology as a topic and a psychiatrist or a practicing nurse psychiatrist. And it's been something that's been on my mind. Uh, and so I'll get started. When one of my therapists um, kind of abruptly decided to retire, I was left with a decision to make who to see to take that therapist's place. Uh, and, to be quite upfront as we are, transparent, authentic, uh, I, I really didn't have a soul therapist. I had and still have the psychiatrist side of things, which goes to the diagnosing, the helping if there's a need of medication management, uh, and so that has been a constant since November 2017. Uh, I was given a few different opportunities or a few different options on who I could see after my therapist abruptly retired. And as I was communicating with the office where I had uh, been coming to my visits with my therapist, as I was communicating with them, they were giving me different options of individuals and the different backgrounds. And some of it came down to distance of, well, you could see this person, but you have to drive an extra 20 minutes. And when you're talking like to somebody with, mental challenges and anything, an extra distance can make or break whether an individual seeks or continues treatment. So that was one area that came in to play with my mental health, with my depression was, and then the anxiety of driving. I had so much anxiety when I was driving that I was so fearful that it took me a while to kind of get my bearings back, uh, get my feet under me, uh, to to get back to driving. So an extra 20 minutes with a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, was not really going to be an option for me. And from my understanding, again, don't hold me to this, don't quote. I'm given firsthand information on my experiences with psychologists, psychiatrists, and therapists as we continue. And what I was finding out with my little research that I did, because I I was on a cadence of seeing this therapist every 2 weeks or every 4 weeks. There was a certain time frame. And so then that was making me more anxious and driving my anxiety even higher because I'm like, what do I do? How am I going to find somebody that's relatively close that has the same background, uh, and so all these thoughts, I was just hoping to be able to find a therapist, not a psychologist. And this is nothing against psychologists and that, uh, but when you're talking about mental health, there's what I've been learning over the years, just as a person with lived experience, is somebody who is a psychologist and psychology. That's kind of like the overarching part of psychiatry and uh, so many different facets. And a lot of times, the psychologists are individuals who, these are individuals who are putting together different reports and research and those types of things. Not that psychiatrists don't. I just I just didn't think it would be a good fit in addition to the extra 20-minute drive that I was gonna have to endure for each visit uh, to go see a psychologist who's more into the numbers and trends and all that is very important. This isn't a bad mouth, bad talk psychologist. But what I wanted and what I was looking for was something much different. Uh, but I was looking for, license in clinical social work or license in social work. I That was the type of an individual that I was in search of, uh, and I wasn't quite sure at the time because shortly after my therapist retired, then my psychiatrist retired. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's totally turning my life upside down. And I was concerned about medication management. Uh, and so I, it took me a couple of months at least, I think, till I felt good enough with my psychiatrist, my medication management individual. And up until recently, I was only seeing that individual. I wasn't seeing a therapist in addition to that. And I'll just be straight up, right? So money's involved, right? You got to pay for your visits. If you have insurance, you don't have insurance, that's also another thing to take into account. Some work with you or me when it comes to the money side and being able to be seen, uh, and some don't. And so you're taking somebody with so much anxiety, at least for me, so much anxiety, the depression, and all the other things that come with me, mental health wise, mental challenge wise. And I got to call around. I have to reach out and see if they even are taking new clients, because one of the things that I have found out is there's a big time shortage in the field of social work and psychiatrists, and there's just a huge void where the demand is so high, but the actual amount of providers and the people that offer the services is much lower. So these individuals are having increased workloads, and potentially could have burnout of like, wow, I'm making extra money or what have you. Uh, but we don't want them to burn out because we want them to help us. So when I moved on from the idea of a psychologist, uh, but again, everybody has to make their own decisions and look into things, do their own research, due diligence. Don't look or listen or watch and think that, oh, Justin said this, so this must be true. Like, you need to do that yourself. This is what I found personally, and this is what works for me. And so I was and am very lucky, um, to have found a therapist to be able to kind of restart what ended at least a couple years ago, where, again, my therapist at the time abruptly retired. So the hope for me also played a huge role, because every time I would make a call to see if there was an opening, or are you, calling a firm or an organization, are you accepting new patients, new clients? Yeah, there were so many times where the answer was no. Sorry, we're not. And so again, we're talking about mental health, and so that increases the anxiety of, oh my gosh, that's one more no. Am I ever going to find a therapist, a psychiatrist? It it it's just it's hard to go through. And what else is hard to go through is something that I went through is uh well, number one, even with insurance, there's still a price to pay, right? Very few organizations don't accept payment. So that's what makes Voices for Voices all the more valuable as a totality of an organization when we talk about our big goals and uh, on top of the helping and reaching over 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. Because I don't have the belief, and we don't have the belief, that somebody, for whatever reason, I've been told in some not very many words that, well, I'm part of a demographic that doesn't have a problem to find and pay for things, uh, like psychiatrist appointments, like therapy appointments, with or without insurance. It's very hard to hear because that's that whole, uh, what they call it, when you're looking at a certain group of people and saying, oh, these type of people, they don't have a problem, they don't have an issue, they don't, they're able to deal with it. Oh, and I can't because I'm not them. And look at their demographic and look at mine. So that's how we have this overarching goal of what we want to do, which we've shared. But I'm not going to keep sharing it because there's a lot of people out there that like to steal ideas, and that's not being mean. That's just uh, being truthful, seeing it, have it happen in our organization at various times. So that's why. Uh, yeah, we talk about rehab, which I haven't talked about a whole lot. When I think of rehab, again, this is just me. This is my opinion. I think of, I don't know, maybe, I don't, ritzy might not be like the right word, but a very welcoming, high end, overlooking the ocean or mountains or uh, open land, and in something that's ultra expensive. And so not everybody can afford that. Just like not everybody can afford visits to the psychiatrist, to uh, the therapist. And I just want to talk about this. It's so hard for somebody with mental challenges to actually reach out and ask for help. I just want to straight up say that. I've said it before. I'll keep saying it. It is so hard for somebody that's going through mental challenges to actually stand up and reach out for help, because it's basically admitting, hey, I need help. I don't know what it is, but something's just not right. And that's the part that a lot of people don't understand. They think it's just like, oh, I sprained my ankle, so I'm just gonna call, the whatever, the the doctors and that and get an appointment scheduled. Like there's no shame in that. It's just, oh, I got hurt and can I get help? This is, hey, there might be something that I need help with mentally, where we have that stigma that we've been talking about. Uh, it takes a lot, and especially from somebody like me who's gone through that. It's hard. It's hard to admit those types of things and to either be shut down because of the money situation, not being able to afford it, not accepting new patients, the wait list going out 6 months to be able to be seen. There's all kinds of hoops that need to be, in many cases, jumped through that it can make people just give up. And we don't want that. Every life is worth living. And so I want the people watching and listening to have those thoughts, to think about that. If you're a family member, you're a loved one, think about that. Think about how hard it must be to reach out, raise your hand, and say, hey, I think I might have depression. Hey, maybe I have schizophrenia. Hey, maybe I have acute anxiety. Uh, and, down the road we can go. And so for us to be able to reach out and ask for help, number one, it takes a strong person to do that. So that's why we don't accept to talk about, you know, these individuals are weak because they're reaching out for help or because there's mental challenges. It takes strength to do that. To say, you know what? I've had it. I've had it. I've had it. I need some help. And then is that help there on the other side, that reciprocation? Because we gotta bring hope to these people. If you're watching and listening, keep that hope alive. Keep that hope alive. For some of you, prayer might be something that helps that spiritual side. The Bible, reading the Bible, that may be helpful as well. And all this really just comes together as we talk about self-improvement. We want to improve ourselves, we want to improve our quality of life. We want to improve just so we can experience regular events, regular uh, experiences. Just the other night we had with having a child, and they had one of these dances with a family, loud music, lights, kids just running all over from from the gym to the hallway to the cafeteria. It really, yeah, you gotta be on your toes. But that's something I never would have been able to do 8, 9, 10 years ago. And so I'm happy for the people that were able to do it. I'm happy for myself. And I keep that hope alive that there's always going to be hope until that final breath. That anxiety is going to be quelled by being able to see a therapist, psychiatrist, maybe medication. I utilize prayer. You don't have to. We're all in this together. Yeah, I have one of the things that next to my name, next to Justin Allen Hayes, is major depression. Depression. Talk about mental health. Anxiety, got that. ADHD, got that. ADD, got that. And I just have a hope that not just me, but that everybody across the world watching and listening is trying to improve themselves one small step, roll, crawl at a time. Maybe that's getting out of bed for the first time in a week. Maybe that's taking a shower the first time in 2 weeks or a bath. Maybe that's reaching out and asking for help. Because as we mentioned, every life's worth living. That includes yours. That includes mine. It includes everybody across the entire world. So thank you for joining us on this episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. If you're able to, give us a thumbs up, like, follow, subscribe, share, reach out to 25, 50, 100 of your contacts in your phone. Uh, if you're able to follow all of our social medias. Uh, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit charity. So we do accept donations on a daily basis. You can go over to lovevoices.org, 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 and you can spell that at LOVEVOICES.org. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, we have over 445 episodes in our catalog. Please check them out. I promise you will be impressed, you will like, and you will subscribe. Have a great day. It's been Justin Allen Hayes with Voices for Voices. Please be a voice for you or somebody in need. Bye bye for now.